Welcome back to Mindful Serenity Yoga with Nancy. And today we're going to continue with our answering questions. It's been a while since I answered a question. And what brought me to this task today, I guess I can say, is that I am completely bored. I am looking for something to distract with. Right now I'm going through the proverbial dark night of the soul on my spiritual quest. And again, I use the spiritual word very loosely. I don't want there to be any type of connotation attached to it. When I say spiritual, I simply mean my personal development, my practice of becoming a better person. So as I'm progressing along that route, I have hit the dark night of the soul, and it's a very confusing and challenging time in the sense that what used to give me meaning no longer gives me meaning, and I'm quite not sure what to do with myself. So I find myself sitting here on a rainy day, which seems to be echoing what's going on inside me during this dark night. Rainy, heavy weather. I'm starting to question, well, what can I do? I'm distracted. I need something to distract with, or I'm feeling this sense that I need to do something, which is just the opposite of the spiritual quest, right? Doing rather than being. And simply all I need to do is be with this. But part of my mind is still there. The ego, the me is still very much prevalent in my life. And it's that part of me that's saying that I need to do something to distract from this feeling brought on by the dark night of the soul. Thus, let me get back to why I'm here in the first place. My wanting to answer a question, thinking that it is an activity that may help me to reconnect and affirm my learning again so that I know I'm on the right route, which I know I am intuitively. But conceptually, sometimes the ego mind will say, oh, you're not doing that right, or you're in the wrong place, or get back on board, crazy lady. So I might have lost my timer again. Excuse me. So I'm going to pull a question from the lovely jar that I have here. And these are questions I hope I haven't answered before. Some of them might have actually got put in the jar, so I might have to, whoa. What is this? Okay, this is a question, I think it comes from Nick Thich Nhat Hanh, actually. A question was asked to him. Why are there bad days and why are there good days? So the question is, why are there bad days and why are there good days? Deep breath. Now I set my timer. So this is a great question in a lot of ways. Right now it feels like a bad day because it's rainy out there and it's dark and there's a lot of cloud cover, and it seems to be, like I sang, echoing this experience that I have going on inside of me, this very heavy, dark feeling that comes with the confusion part of our spiritual awakening, or the dark night of the soul. So it seems like could say this is a bad day, and then the good day would be those days where we're light and carefree and laughing and happy with everything seems to be going right in a good day. So why are there good days and why are there bad days? Well, I'm going to say this: there is neither good days and there is neither bad days. There are good days and there are bad days. In other words, I'm going to bring you back to this very famous quote that a lot of people don't even know about. I'm surprised, because to me it was one of the most famous quotes in Hamlet, other than, to be or not to be. In the same act 2, scene 2, where Hamlet says to Horatio, I believe, nothing is either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Nothing is either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. So there is no good days, there is no bad days, but we have a tendency to think a good day and think a bad day. So in our conceptual framework, what would create a good day as opposed to a bad day? For most of us who have yet to begin this long, arduous process of waking up, and it is a long, arduous process for most of us. Some of us will wake up very quickly, but for most of us, as for me anyway, it's been a long, arduous process, and I don't feel like I'm getting very far. I know I am progressing, but regardless, some of us who have yet to begin that process may still be in the mistaken ideation that in order for things to be good, we need things on the outside world working the way we think they should work in order to make us feel good inside, right? So the weather's good. We're going on a vacation. We're having excitement. We're in the right person. We're, doing the right things. All that stuff we can put on our Facebook pages or our Twitter pages. Sorry, I am not technologically savvy. Twitter pages expressing, all the things that we're doing so that people can feel jealous or have that, fear of missing out kind of thing. So those makes a good day when the external variables are positive and creating this positive feeling of comfort and peace and happiness within us. Most of us will say those are good days. Bad days are those days when things don't seem to be going right outside of us. Getting a fender bender on the way to work, running out of gas, getting a fight with the boss, getting a fight with our spouse when we get home. Children are acting up, or we get a call from the principal that they've been expelled from school. Hey, I've been through that one, and it ain't fun. Or, we get a snake in our pantyhose, or something serious, maybe getting a bad diagnosis, or being found, be getting a subpoena in the mail saying we're being sued for something. It can range from anything, but again, it's the reliance on the external variables that are creating our bad day or our good day, which is the mentality that most of us are still under. But in that one famous, well, not so famous, but should be famous Shakespearean quote, nothing is neither good or bad, but thinking makes it so, we realize that it is not the thing itself. It's not whatever's happening out there that's going to determine our good days and our bad days. It's what's happening in here. And Michael Singer and many other great yoga teachers will, because yoga is all about this, right, will teach that we are not feeling okay inside, which is usually the problem. The problem is not out there. It has nothing to do with the external world, what we have or what we don't have, what we're going through, what we're not going through. It is about what we're feeling inside. Most of us are not okay. We live in the mentality that we can be okay if things outside us are okay. So we spend a great deal of our time and effort trying to manipulate the external environment, trying to grasp and cling to things out there, like the greatest job or the greatest partner or the most fun, the thing that we can put on our Twitter page that will make other people feel envious of us. So we think those things can make us feel okay inside. And we will say that things are bad or days are bad when they're not able to create that feeling of okayness inside us, when it has nothing to do with the day and nothing to do with any external variable outside ourselves. We are simply either okay or not okay. And most of us are not okay. Most of us are pretending to be okay, settling with that lack of okayness and that lack of fulfillment, and reaching out to grasp and cling to fill in the empty holes that we have inside ourselves. That would be the majority of the population, I believe. And we will be pushing away those things in our outside world that are unpleasant or that are not making us feel okay inside, either through actually pushing away, or which ends up being suppressing and repressing, pushing down, or doing something about, like trying to change the outside world so that there's less of that okayness out there. Being activists, more, I like the word Singer uses, reactivists, rather than people who are actually making effective change. We become, clingers and grabbers and buyers and consumers and doers, numbers, activity seekers, in order to avoid that feeling that we get when we're sitting alone. Blaise Pascal in Pensées 139 said, I'm not going to say it directly, but paraphrasing, said that the majority of man's suffering has to do with the fact that he cannot sit alone in a room by himself quietly, right? And that's just it. We don't seem to have that capacity. We don't want to sit with this okayness because we don't really want to face the fact that we're not okay inside. It's easier to blame something out there as a cause of it than to take responsibility, which is the ability to respond to the set of circumstances that are leading to us not being okay, which has nothing to do with out there, but more to do what we've done our entire lives in this creation of this false identity of me, this psyche, which is simply, I think it was Skinner that said it is the accumulation of all our stored memories and whatnot, right? All the things that we've been through is our psyche. And we have created this sense of me and do everything we can to protect it when it's not even really who we are. We are so much more than that. But with this me-ness, we have this sense of unokayness inside us, this sense of lacking fulfillment, this sense of not being peaceful or happy. And we search outwardly for that. And when we can get it, those are good days, right? And when we can't get it, those are bad days. So there really is nothing. No such thing as a good day or a bad day. It's just what we've come to believe in our minds is good and bad that suits our inner worlds or our false ideation that outside world is going to make us feel okay inside. But it has nothing to do with the outside, right? It has to do with our insides. So what we need to do then is, first of all, recognize that we are not okay inside. Recognize that some work needs to be done on the inside. Instead of looking out there for the answers to our problems that we believe are the cause from the outside world, we get to the root cause of our not okayness, to those things that we think are creating the bad day. And we come inside and we release some of those samskaras, those stored mental impressions that are probably in the way of us feeling okay. Many yoga masters will say that it is our ingrained birthright, our innate birthright to be happy, to be joyous, to have all good days. But because of this samskaras, these impressions, this sense of me, this psyche with its heavy load of memories that we stuffed on top of this natural feeling, we don't experience it. We don't open up to it. Our consciousness goes on looking at what's wrong on the bad days rather than on the good days that we've had in the past, and we store those. So if we can get past that veil that's been created by these blockages, get past our need to deny the fact that we're not okay, past our reliance on external variables to make us okay, and get to the root cause of our so-called suffering, so-called pain, all days would be good days. But we wouldn't even have to use the term good or bad anymore because we'd be reaching a non-dual state where it just is. It just is. Life just is. And I'm looking out my window right now in this heavy rain with this heavy heart that I have from the dark night and looking at a dark environment that seems heavy with darkness and rain. And when I allow myself to accept the just isness of it, I see the absolute beauty and wonder in this world. Everything is so green. Why? Because of the rain. Everything is in bloom, flowering. Why? Because of the rain. Because of the darkness that's out there, the struggle, the challenge. We see the emergence of something amazing and wonderful. And we can have that experience inward as well when we put away our notions of good days and bad days, our preferences. It was the third then patriarch that said, the great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. It doesn't have to be difficult. This dark night of the soul does not have to be difficult. Once we put away our opinions and our preferences and just learn to accept life with a beautiful, beautiful, natural way, it just is. No good days, no bad days. It just is. And we're on a wonderful journey that just is, because we are neither good or bad. We just are. Well, that's all I have to say about that. I hope it helps. I'm not sure if I've made a lick of sense in this. Like I said, it just comes off the cuff. Whatever's there is going to come up. But I'm hoping I have helped someone somewhere. Thank you so much for joining me once again. Please enjoy these beautiful rainy days and recognize the importance of them. Take care. Namaste.